Hello, my name is Arriale Starbird. Today is June 4th, 2023. I have with me today Jasmine Moore from North Carolina. She has been in the Holistic Health and Fitness Coaching Program for about 4 months. So Jasmine, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
That's excellent. So what health issues were you experiencing prior to starting the program with me?
So I was diagnosed with connective tissue disease. So I was basically having autoimmune issues. And also I was having stomach problems and I was having a lot of headaches and some very, very harsh like chest problems. So I was just basically going to go to a rheumatologist that my doctor recommended for me. But then I found this program.
Excellent. And I know that at some point, was it in high school or after that, you were training a lot. You were a track athlete. You were actually a very serious athlete. I think you were Olympic or almost Olympic level. If you know, maybe you can speak to that. And tell me a little bit about that. What was it like to train so hard? What was your nutrition like at that time? What was your lifestyle at that time like?
So I was training every single day, mostly, and rigorous training. So I was conditioning to train and then trained to compete. And I was conditioning, I went through all types of conditioning cycles, conditioning for outdoor to like just for regular workouts, and then conditioning for race ready workouts, and then conditioning for outdoor to like just for regular workouts, and then conditioning for race ready workouts, and then conditioning for season, and then championship season. So I was very, very serious. I was doing it every single day. Really didn't have much time off. I was in the gym in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I was working out, running, and then I would do a second workout. A second workout would be like more like technical stuff for my event. So I was very, very serious, and I went all the way up to the collegiate level, and I was on scholarship. So I was just pretty much doing that a lot, but I was not following a very good food diet plan. I was also having a lot of bone issues. And that I think about it back then, shin splints, stress fractures, knee issues, all types of stuff. So, and I think it could have been contributed to the fact that I wasn't getting enough nutrients in my diet plan. So I just was basically just eating whatever, just burning, just like a just burning energy, all types of energy.
Were you eating a lot of junk food?
Yes, cakes, like mostly cake, honestly, mostly sugar, mostly sugar.
Well, for our listeners who maybe have never been an athlete, is it accurate to say you were training to be in the Olympics eventually, or you were already training in the Olympics?
I was training to be in the Olympics, but most of the workouts were Olympic level workout because my coaches were Olympic coaches. They were training professional athletes. So I was already doing Olympic level workouts when I was in high school and in college.
And you can answer this if you want to, but you kind of, it runs in your family. Your family are professional athletes. Is that correct?
Not professional athletes, but my mom did run track and my dad played football. And then my stepdad he played football as well. He was very, very good. He could have gone to the league if he wanted to. My brother did football, and then my younger brother did football as well. So,
And I think you mentioned your mom's a professional power lifter, right?
yes.
So that
Yeah.
we
And
have,
my mom's a professional
yes,
power lifter. Yeah.
yeah. So there's actually a lot of knowledge, between all of you about athletics. So I wonder why there
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been the knowledge regarding nutrition, or maybe they have it, but you just didn't implement it.
I guess my mother has more knowledge on nutrition, and my brothers sometimes they follow my younger brother. He also follows holistic plan. He more so doesn't eat any negative antibiotic like hormonal type foods. He doesn't do that. I'm actually kind of late to the party. I'm the last person, but I know my younger brother, he was all plant based at one point, and at one point he even went vegan and vegetarian. So he was staying far away from meat altogether. And but for the most part, I'm gonna be honest with you, we still do eat bad, even though there is plant-based diets and we know what to eat. We still eat pretty bad sometimes. Not gonna lie to you.
So there's a discipline needed there. Well, that's why you're in the program, right? Uh, at some point when you realize how much you lose in terms of your life force and your ability to perform by having poor nutrition, and then you're very sober about it, then it's not tempting anymore. You just see how much it hurts you. And especially if you see the difference, like you actually measure your results when you're eating garbage versus for a while, like not just one day, but let's say 30 days to 90 days. And then you measure 30, 90 days of eating pristine, like exactly based on your blood type, where your fitness level, exactly what your goals are, a very, very organic, non-GMO, clean food. You're going to see it's going to be day and night in terms of your performance. And then I think if you value that performance, if you're very serious about your performance, you're not, that garbage is not tempting anymore. You just realize that's just hell. Like, why would you put yourself through hell, if you really want to improve, But I think it's discipline, and partly it's like soberly seeing the truth of the results. Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, once I didn't really see the big deal because I mainly came to you for the spiritual issues I was having. But then I started realizing like the eating healthy. I was like, this isn't gonna work. Why can't we just do all the other stuff I want to do? But then I started doing eating healthy, and then like somehow some of the stuff started working. It was very weird. It started helping me, even though I didn't think it would help me. Like eating healthy has helped with my mental health. It has helped me with my decision making. It has helped me in a lot of ways. Like I even see the small details of my performance. I went from not like being able to get up on time and go to work at all to being I felt lazy, just disoriented, not able to really just be coherent at all, to being able to have good coherent conversations, to being good at my job. Now I think I can be a top performer at my job. And honestly, I attribute that to the program, like being structured in my program, and also working out and
Absolutely.
eating healthy. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just for listeners, since you kind of mentioned it, I'll just speak to it a little bit, that when you first did your very first call, you really had been kind of living with your parents for a while. You weren't working, you couldn't work, you had a lot of trauma from the past. You mentioned you gained weight from your track years, and you saw the program and you're like, I want to do this. So you actually got a job, and then you got a better job, and you're doing amazingly well at your job. You're making all the money you need to live on your own, and to afford the program, and you're getting like personal, your goals are being fulfilled, your life goals are being fulfilled. So that's huge, that's massive, that you went from that to now being able to live and function, and spin the plates, as I say, spin plates, right? All these different projects that you're doing in your life, and they don't break, they don't fall, you just keep moving forward. And that's awesome. For how long did you have like a lot of these different types of issues that you mentioned?
I had them for, I guess, 7 years. I'm gonna say that's when I was having all these problems. I went through something very traumatic, and then I started having these problems, and I wasn't able to find a way to maneuver. I would work out, and I would start just working out. That would help me, but it wasn't enough to like sustain. I guess I just didn't keep at it. And then honestly, I was always eating unhealthy throughout this whole time. I was never eating healthy ever. So I guess just really eating healthy has been very big for me. I didn't even realize how big it would be. This program has like really opened my eyes to some of the bad habits I have in terms of just how I eat. Like the sweets, I didn't realize I had that as an addiction. And then you pointed it out to me, like, yeah, we have to cleanse the Candida. I was like, it needs to be cleansed. And I'm like, now trying to figure out, all right, I need to save up this amount of money so I can get this cleansed, because I think that's going to definitely help me. And also, it's been helping me with the spiritual issues too. It's weird how all of this is combined.
It's all connected, absolutely. It is more like a circle where all the parts are connected rather than disparate pieces that we work on separately. I work on everything together, considering all the factors as they influence each other. So yeah, eating a lot of sugar makes people feel like they're under psychic attack. It happens all the time. So like things like when people start to have diabetes issues because of way too much sugar all the time, or high carb diet that leads to this high glycemic their state all the time, that actually makes their psychic doors open up, so they're psychically attacked. They don't put the two and two together, but it's been known for like a long time. My mentor over 20 years ago was talking about how the kids, when they eat all that sugar and all that candy, that's why they act so crazy, because they get affected by dark forces. The psychic doors open up and the entities influence them. So for a lot of you are like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Is that real? I don't believe it. Okay. But nevertheless, this works. When people go off of the sugar and go off of the high carb, their spirituality improves. So whether somebody believes the spiritual aspect or not doesn't really matter to me so much. It's that my goal is for you to get results, for you to not be psychically attacked all the time. But there's a lot of clients that contact me with exactly your types of spiritual issues. Can you just say a little bit more about that? What were your spiritual issues exactly?
I guess I was having a lot of spiritual issues because I was in the New Age community for a very long time. I didn't realize how much time I was in it, but I guess I entered the community at 23, post situations I was having in my life. So I don't think I was under psychic attack then, but it really happened rather recently, like in 2022 and 2020. Yeah, the middle of 2022 is when I started having issues with entities and things of that nature. And I was having a lot of issues, more like stringent issues with just stuff like that. Doing a lot of astrology, tarot card readings, things of that nature. In and out of those spaces, crystals, new age stuff. And I guess more so it was just not the right path for me. So I guess it ended me into a situation in which I ended up being around a lot of negative energies, or just all types of energies that I really did not know how to manage at all. And then I had all types of attacks. And that started in, I think, December. Was going to a whole bunch of different readers, healers, to help me to like clear things, and it would clear, but then stuff would come back and issues would start coming back and it would stick with me. So now, yeah, that's when I found you. And I wasn't even typing in holistic. I was just more so typing in, well, my mom recommended me get on a schedule. She was like, you need to be in a system. That's when you've done the best. And I was like, she's right about that. So I was like, what do I need? How do I find a coach? I was thinking of finding a coach because I had coaches in my life. And honestly, that has been the best thing for me, is when I've had someone to help me be accountable, point out some of my issues, and then also give me a structured plan and be able to like review that plan with me. That's when I've done the best. So yeah, I found you. I was looking up spiritual issues, and I also was looking up specific spiritual issues I was having, and found your mentor. And then that led me to somebody else. And then that person I don't believe is working. And then I found you. And I typed in for the 15-minute consultation.
Awesome. Yeah. And for the listeners who don't know, she's referring to my mentor of 9 years, John Livingston. He is an incredible teacher and healer and shaman, and also trained in the Western college. He was a practicing licensed marriage and family counselor for many, many years before he became more spiritual and included the shamanic practices into his practice. So he was a very solid guy, not like the rest of the New Age. I know the New Age ringer you went through, I went through too, maybe not as bad as some other people, because I had John, and sort of there was the New Age, but John was really mentoring me. But I've had some clients that told me absolute nightmare horror stories from when they went through the New Age ringer. They were traumatized before, they were more traumatized after they went through the New Age ringer. So I'm under the impression, this is just my opinion, I hope nobody sends me any hate mail, like just my experience and my opinion. I think that the net of the New Age experience for a lot of people is negative. Yeah, there's some positive, there's some gifted people, there's a lot of negative. And in the end, after people go through it all, they come out worse off. So this is why I'm no longer a proponent of a lot of stuff in the New Age. But yeah, there's obviously sincere, gifted people, just like in any religion, just like anywhere, right? And if you encounter those sincere, people. That's good. I mean, you could say that John didn't fit into any box. Some could call him New Age, but he wasn't really. He was his own, just a very, very genuinely spiritual person who was also in service to humanity. But I suppose that other people would throw him into that box. But I don't think he would consider himself that way. I don't consider him that way. But, anyway, so I hope that the incredible gift that John gave me, I hope to pass it on because I felt really blessed to have worked with him for 9 years. And I know a lot of other people, now he's passed since last year, a lot of people look for someone like that. And I hope that I can, I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I hope I can do at least a fraction of the help that he provided to others over the years. So you mentioned how you had issues for 7 years. Would it be true that prior to that, there were also some issues? Like, it's not like they all started exactly 7 years ago. Was there anything prior to that was important?
Prior to that, I definitely had childhood trauma, but I was always already in a structuredized way of working out. I didn't realize how much it was really saving me. So I was always doing that. So I didn't have the PTSD issues that I had.
You said you didn't realize how the working out was doing what for you?
It was helping me when I was working out as an athlete, a rigorous training, that helped me so much.
Yeah.
Like it was giving me, I didn't have PTSD because of that. I was actually strong. I felt strong in my childhood, my high school years, even though a lot of stuff was happening. And I was very privileged because I was able to be around Olympic coaches and I just felt very lucky. So I would say the issues I had when I just became very scattered and just like purposeless, I would say purposeless, was about 7 years I was having those issues. So that was the bulk of that, like the bulk of the traumas I've had happening over this past 7 years. And the New Age movement honestly was making it worse. So just finding ways, I guess I didn't realize I had to find a way out of it. And I just encountered very gifted people that were also very much so on the negative side of it, which I didn't realize that could happen. But I think that honestly, I'm kind of happy in a way that it happened because I was before those issues, before New Age, I was struggling with that trauma and that PTSD. And I think I needed this program because it helped me not only with the spiritual issues, but it's helping me with my life problems, like just in general, all together in my life. So yeah, I'm finding ways to handle things on my own, be more independent, and I have more confidence than I did when I started the program. Started the program very, I guess, weak. Felt weak, maybe even childish, honestly. So now I feel like I'm moving more towards being a stronger young adult and being better in the workforce, being more professional, and doing things a lot better than I did before, a lot.
That's awesome. You know, exactly the kind of things you're talking about where people could be very, very gifted and talented. In your case, it was athletic. For some people, it's art or music or whatever it is, or spiritual healing. But their life is so chaotic. They have so many things going on, constantly thrown off. They can't perform. And a lot of the other programs out there are focused just exclusively on certain type of performance. And I saw a big gap between the people who could perform but can't ever get there because they're always dragged back into some BS or some chaos. And I'm like, I got an answer for them. So this was actually one of the reasons, one of my conscious sort of foundational ideas as to how I formed this program to help people to in their life so that they eventually can take that leap and perform in whatever it is, either their profession or service or athletics or whatever it is. And it's not obvious how to take that leap. A lot of people don't. They just keep being dragged and dragged and dragged down forever until they are in a wheelchair or on dialysis. And they're like, how did I end up here? They don't even know. They don't even know how that happened. But it's over decades of being dragged into negativity with nobody able to understand how to help them. And so I hope that more people do this kind of work. There's definitely not enough, but I know I'm doing my calling. So So tell me a little bit, what has been the most beneficial part of our holistic health and fitness coaching program for you? Because there are many parts: spirit, soul, mind, and body. In what order would you put those in?
Nutrition, nutrition. It started with nutrition I think for us. I always knew working out would be good, but like I don't think I would have been able to be strong enough to work out until the nutrition was good, which is weird because for me it's always been the other way, like working out, nutrition. But now the older I'm getting, like the body definitely just keeps the score. So like I have to be better in terms of eating healthy. I have to. So when I started with you, I was having bone issues. I didn't feel like confident walking. I didn't feel confident just moving back and forth. I only wanted to stay in one spot and then that's it. I didn't really want to move back and forth a lot. But the nutrition really helped me. Taking the shapes, uh, really paying more attention to what I eat, what it is I eat, the hormonal uh, concept of it, as well as like just the overall nutrition portion of it, taking my vitamins, the supplements that we have, all of that has been really helping me, really helping me. And the natural path thing that we did where we were all going through like our overall assessment, it really showed me some of the issues that I had that I didn't know I had. Even when I went to the doctor, like the doctor told me, okay, I have this disease that's probably contributing to this. But your assessment was more deep. Like it showed like certain things that I didn't know I had issues with this supplement. I didn't know I had this lack of this deficiency. I didn't know I had parasites or other stuff, you know. I just didn't know that. So I think that this is like really good program for somebody who doesn't want to have to go through the ringer of bills, doctor bills, and then also like helps you with your mental health as well.
Absolutely. What is the most important thing you learned in the program so far? And how are you applying
Um,
it?
so the most important thing I learned is structure. So as soon as I deviate from our program and I deviate from what it is we're doing, or I just find a path that's off tilt or chaotic, that is when I have issues. So it gives you accountability and it shows me, okay, this stuff really does work for me. What I was already doing, I do see results and I see the chaos when I don't stick to this issue. I mean, stick to this plan. So I say this structure.
How would you say, what are like two key ways, between one and three key ways that the program changed your life?
The first way is I can now work and breathe and be contributing part of society, whereas before I wasn't able to really even like I wasn't coherent. I was fearful, I was scared, and then I was also weak in terms of my health. My health was bad, really bad shape. And so I went from there to now I think we're on the right path. I'm on the right path now. I went from being completely off path, 100% off path, to being on the right path. And then I think even in a couple of months, I think I'll see even huger gains.
Incredible. So, and how much weight did you lose so far?
I can't believe I lost 35 pounds total. I have lost 35 pounds total. I gained weight, but I wasn't really upset with the weight that I gained. But I feel like I look like a different person. My family tells me all the time, they're like, you've lost so much weight. I am back to the size I was in high school. So
Yeah, and just for the listeners, it was the fat. It wasn't like healthy muscle weight that she lost.
no.
I've seen you work out in the Monday evening class, and you look like you are in shape. You look like an athlete would look. So whatever you lost, that was the bad stuff. Uh, so, just to be clear, and are you measuring lean muscle? We haven't really focused on that yet in our program so far, but if you are measuring it, how much lean muscle mass did you gain?
I think I gained about 2 to 3 pounds of lean muscle mass.
Okay, awesome. That's really good. For a female, that's really good. I don't know how much you're working out outside of class, but definitely working out 1 hour a week with me. How about on average? How much are you working out outside of that?
So this week I did about 4 hours.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's great. So tell me a little bit what it's like for you to work with me as a coach.
Very good, very understanding. I even feel like a mentor. I feel like you would be like a very, like, you're mentoring me in a way. And I also feel like you're really, really understanding and able to really apply constructive criticism when it's necessary. Because I don't really like criticism. So when you give constructive criticism, I definitely listen because I know it's not coming from a place of cruelty. It's coming from a place of understanding. You really care about your clients. You seem to really, really care. And even the clients that I see you working with in the 1 hour a week for the disciplined warrior that we have, I can see them even growing, which is actually kind of cool to see. Some who like battling cancer and had all types of organ issues, like even be able to do a sit up and then 5 sit ups and then even a sit up for a minute. I think that is pretty amazing, really outstanding, especially since I know as an athlete, like I know what it's like for to go from really like I'm not good at this at all. This is horrible. I don't want anyone to see this to I'm doing great or I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm amazing. It's a very cool thing to see. So I see your clients are doing better even week by week. So it's pretty astonishing.
That's true. Absolutely. How has the program helped your mental and emotional health?
It's been working very well for me. It's one of the things I think that I think the biggest thing I struggle with is my mental and emotional health. My biggest issue is those two things. So that is what's been drastically changed. I'm able to be like more objective. I'm able to be more communicative, I think, with other people and just overall hold my own weight emotionally, not like have to lean on a whole bunch of people for emotional support. So that's what this program has helped me with.
Awesome. If you never found this program and nothing changed and you didn't discover anything holistic and you just continued on exactly the same path you were before, what would it have been like?
I probably would have, I don't even want to think about that, but it would
Well,
have been horrible.
it's okay to think about it for a moment because you want to see the cliff you didn't fall into, but like it's okay to, you're not there anymore. You're not on that cliff. So it's okay to look down and just see what's really there. What's the sober reality of that outcome?
Probably would have gone through the medical ringer and spent a lot of money in that aspect because I would have felt I had no choice.
How would you feel? What would your daily life been like?
It wouldn't have been good. It would have been horrible, honestly. I don't think I would be able to hold down a job, to be honest. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. I don't think I would have been able to hold down a job. And honestly, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know how long I would have lived, but it wouldn't have been good. I feel like it would have been really bad. I probably would have stayed stuck for a long, long time. It wouldn't have been good. If I hadn't found this program when I found it, I would not have any money. I wouldn't have any like resources. I wouldn't be able to have good health. My emotional and mental health would have been zero. It would have been negative net. And yeah, if I hadn't had this program, I wouldn't have been able to do any of the things I'm doing now. I wouldn't even have had to have goals. Like a goal was just to wake up out of bed. Now a goal I have is to be a top performer in my job. And then the next goal I have is to move out. I'm moving out at the end of this month. So yeah,
You also have another awesome goal that I really appreciate is that you want to build your own business, which I think is awesome.
yeah,
It's a step
yeah,
by step, but you have that goal. You've expressed it right away. Like I could tell that that's part of your dream. You definitely want to build a business. So that's awesome.
yes, yes, I do.
That's fantastic. What are you most proud of achieving in the program?
I'm most proud of mostly I am most proud of the way that I've been able to fix the stuff, that I've been able to pay on time and that I've been able to pay all the other stuff. the food and supplements. I didn't think I was going to be able to do any of that. I somehow found a way. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the relationship I built with you. I think it's good. It's one of the healthier relationships I have in my life right now. So I'm really happy with that. I'm also very happy with getting back on track with working out. That's not something I ever probably would have done again, but now I'm like, I think this is something I'm going to stick with. I know it's something I'm going to stick with. And I'm also proud of like my maturity. I still have a lot to go with my maturity, but it's getting there, I feel.
Yes, absolutely. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much value did you get out of the program so far?
On a scale of 1 to, oh, 10. 10.
Okay, awesome. And what would you say to someone who may never have heard of holistic health and fitness coaching? Maybe they've never been coached in anything in their life. Maybe they've never done fitness. Maybe they have a lot of autoimmune conditions and they just don't know where to turn. Maybe they've been through the medical or new age ringer or whatever, any kind of ringer, and they're just afraid to join anything at this point. They're scared, they're struggling alone, they're hesitant to reach out and join a program. What would you say to someone like that?
I would say that this program would be very, very good for you. It will take you from where you are in the most destitute of situations, and then she'll be able to help you along the way. She sticks with you. She gives you that emotional support and confidence. And I've always had coaches in the past, but I can tell you that the athlete takes on the persona of the coach. That's usually how it works. So she's very stable, confident, very like she believes that you can have the goals you want. And honestly, that is like a good 75% of the battle. Because if you don't think that you can do something, you will not do it. So you need somebody there to be able to help you get those goals together. If you want to have good health and you struggle with autoimmune issues and you struggle even to walk, I definitely recommend her. If you struggle with mental health issues, it doesn't really matter the mental health issues that you had, and you've gone through therapists and it actually hasn't worked for you, definitely recommend this. If you've had issues with like just money issues, even like I would even recommend her because of that too, because she's helped me with that as well. So I would say that this is a very, very good program for overall lifestyle. You do have to put the work in and you have to be honest, be willing to be honest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's such valuable feedback, and it's so valuable for other people to hear it because there's a lot of people struggling alone. They really don't know where to turn. So I so much appreciate you being honest and sharing your story.
Yes, and I will be recommending you.
Awesome. Thank you so much again.